Ultimate Guide to Royal Caribbean Cruises, 2025 edition. Here's something that might surprise you about Royal Caribbean. Most first-time cruisers book the wrong ship for their vacation. They see those Instagram photos of massive water slides and infinity pools, assume bigger is always better, and end up on a 5,700 passenger floating city when what they really wanted was a relaxing getaway to somewhere exotic. Or they book a tiny Vision class ship thinking they'll save money, then spend the whole week wondering where all the activities are that they saw in the commercials. After sailing on 18 different Royal Caribbean ships across 6 different classes, I can tell you this. Royal Caribbean isn't just one cruise experience, it's 7 completely different vacation styles, each designed for different travelers. And picking the right one can make the difference between a good cruise and the trip of a lifetime. Today, I'm walking you through everything you need to know about Royal Caribbean in 2025. We're talking ship classes, hidden costs, the dining that's actually worth paying for, and the loyalty tricks that can save you hundreds on future cruises. Plus, I'll share which ships I keep going back to and why some of Royal Caribbean's newest features might not be worth the hype. Let's start with the ships themselves, because this is where most people get it wrong. The ship classes that actually matter. Royal Caribbean has a variety of ships sailing right now spread across 7 different classes. But here's what the brochures don't tell you. These aren't just different sizes of the same experience. They're fundamentally different types of vacations. The Icon class just launched in 2024 with Icon of the Seas, and it's unlike anything I've sailed before. We're talking about a ship with 5,610 passengers that feels more like a theme park than a cruise. The Category 6 water park alone has 6 record-breaking slides, and the Aquadome is basically a covered stadium for water shows. But here's the thing nobody mentions. With that many people on board, you're spending a lot of time in lines. The Thermal Suite Spa reservation I wanted, booked solid for the entire 7-day cruise. The specialty restaurants? Good luck getting a table after 6 p.m. without booking months ahead. Now compare that to the Oasis class, which has been Royal Caribbean's flagship experience since 2009. These ships introduced the neighborhood concept that everyone copies now. Central Park with 20,000 live plants, the boardwalk with a carousel and street performers, the ultimate abyss slides that drop you 10 decks in 13 seconds. I've sailed on 4 different Oasis ships, and here's what I've learned. Wonder of the Seas, the newest one, actually feels less crowded than Oasis of the Seas, despite carrying more passengers. The redesigned Windjammer Buffet and that new suite neighborhood make a huge difference. But if you want my honest opinion, some of the best Royal Caribbean experiences are on their smaller ships. Radiance-class vessels like Serenade of the Seas carry just 2,143 passengers, which means you actually get to know your bartender's name and you're not fighting for a pool chair. Plus, these ships go places the mega ships can't. Serenade is doing Royal Caribbean's first ever Ultimate World Cruise right now, hitting all 7 continents. Try doing that on a ship the size of Icon. The Quantum class occupies this sweet spot between innovation and intimacy. These ships gave us the North Star observation capsule that lifts you 300 feet above the ocean and the skydiving simulator that actually works. But at 4,180 passengers, you still feel like you're on a cruise ship, not a floating city. Here's something most people don't realize. Royal Caribbean's oldest ships, the Vision class, offer something you can't get anywhere else in their fleet: true quiet. Grandeur of the Seas feels like cruising used to feel, before every square inch was packed with activities. Sometimes that's exactly what you need. The real cost of Royal Caribbean. Let's talk money, because this is where Royal Caribbean can surprise you. The base fare is just the beginning, and I've seen people's final bills double by the end of the cruise. Daily gratuities alone are $18.50 per person per day for standard cabins, $21 for suites. That's $129.50 for a week-long cruise for one person, before you've even thought about drinks, specialty dining, or internet. Speaking of drinks, Royal Caribbean's beverage packages range from $63 to $89 per person per day for the deluxe package. On a 7-day cruise, that's up to $623 per person just for drinks. But here's the insider tip. If you're not a heavy drinker, you might actually save money paying as you go. A cocktail runs about 12 to 15, wine by the glass is 8 to 12. Do the math before you commit. The specialty dining is where things get interesting. Royal Caribbean has some genuinely excellent restaurants. Chops Grill, their steakhouse, consistently serves better food than most land-based chains. The Chef's Table experience, where the executive chef hosts a 5-course wine pairing dinner, is one of the best meals I've had at sea. But at $80 plus dollars per person, it's also expensive. Here's my strategy. Book 1 or 2 specialty dinners in advance for a discount, then decide on the rest once you're on board. The lunch prices at specialty restaurants are often half the dinner cost for the same menu. Internet is another consideration. Royal Caribbean's VOOM is genuinely fast, but at $20 to $25 per person per day, it adds up. The good news? You can log in and out on different devices with one package, so families can share.
Cabin selection strategy.
This is where I see people make expensive mistakes. Royal Caribbean's marketing pushes balcony cabins hard, but honestly, on many itineraries, they're not worth the premium. Interior cabins on Royal Caribbean are actually quite comfortable. I've stayed in 150 square foot interior rooms that felt more spacious than 200 square foot balcony cabins on other cruise lines. The virtual balconies on some ships, with their floor-to-ceiling screens showing live ocean views, are surprisingly convincing. But here's where balconies do make sense: Alaska, the Mediterranean, or anywhere you're sailing through scenery. Waking up to glaciers in your pajamas is worth every penny. For Caribbean cruises where you're off the ship most days, save your money. Ocean view cabins are the forgotten middle child of cruise accommodations, but they're often the sweet spot for value. You get natural light and views without the balcony premium. Suites on Royal Caribbean's newest ships are genuinely spectacular. The Star-class suites come with personal butlers, complimentary beverage packages, and priority everything. If you can afford it, the experience is transformative. But here's the thing. You'll pay 3 to 5 times the price of a balcony cabin for amenities you might not use. One sweet trick most people don't know. Book a junior suite and you'll get double Crown and Anchor loyalty points. That alone can be worth the upgrade if you plan to cruise with Royal Caribbean again. Dining that's actually worth it. Royal Caribbean gets a bad rap for food, but they've genuinely improved over the last few years. The main dining room serves solid, consistently good meals with themes that change nightly. Italian night usually features excellent pasta dishes, and their French night includes surprisingly good duck. The Windjammer buffet has been completely reimagined on newer ships. The Windjammer on Wonder of the Seas is the largest in the fleet and actually serves some creative dishes beyond the standard cruise buffet fare. But let's talk about the specialty restaurants that are actually worth your money. Izumi Sushi is better than most land-based sushi restaurants I've tried. The hibachi experience includes the full tableside show, and the fish is surprisingly fresh. Giovanni's Table serves family-style Italian that's perfect for groups, and their pasta carbonara rivals anything I've had in Italy. Wonderland is Royal Caribbean's molecular gastronomy restaurant, and it's either brilliant or completely pretentious depending on your perspective. The food is creative and Instagram-worthy, but at $65 per person, you're paying as much for the experience as the actual meal. Here's a dining tip that can save you serious money. Many specialty restaurants offer lunch service at half the dinner price. Chops Grill Lunch features the same steaks and sides for $35 instead of $65.
Entertainment and activities. This is where Royal Caribbean truly shines. Their entertainment budget is massive, and it shows. The Broadway-style musicals on Oasis-class ships are genuinely impressive. I've seen Hairspray, Mamma Mia, and Grease at sea, and the production values rival anything you'd see on land. The Aqua Theater shows are unique to Royal Caribbean, and they're spectacular. Watching Olympic-level divers perform choreographed routines while jumping from 30-foot platforms into the deepest pools at sea is unforgettable. But it's the smaller activities that often provide the most fun. Rock climbing walls are standard on every ship and completely free. The Flowrider surf simulators take practice, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be addicted. The ice skating shows are surprisingly good, and the rinks are open for public skating. Royal Caribbean's Adventure Ocean Kids program is legitimately one of the best at sea. They have age-appropriate activities for kids 3 to 17, and the staff is genuinely trained to engage with children. Parents consistently tell me their kids had so much fun, they didn't want to leave the kids' club. Destinations and private islands. Royal Caribbean sails everywhere, but their private destinations are what set them apart. Perfect Day at Coco Cay is the result of a $250 million renovation, and it shows. The Thrill Water Park, the zip line, and the helium balloon ride are all included in your cruise fare. The Coco Beach Club is an upcharge, but if you want a more relaxed beach day, it's worth considering. Here's something most people don't realize about Coco Cay. The island can feel just as crowded as the ship itself when multiple Royal Caribbean vessels dock on the same day. I've been there with 12,000 passengers from 2 Oasis-class ships, and finding a chair at the complimentary beach areas becomes a competitive sport. The paid experiences like the zip line and up and away helium balloon have timed reservations, so book those the moment you can access the Royal Caribbean app. Labadee, Haiti doesn't get as much attention as Coco Cay, but the Alpine coaster and that half-mile zip line over the ocean are incredible experiences. The Cultural Center showcases local Haitian artisans, and honestly, the shopping here feels more authentic than most Caribbean ports. Plus, Labadee tends to be less crowded because fewer ships visit compared to Coco Cay. Here's something to keep in mind. Royal Caribbean's itineraries are designed around their ship classes. The mega ships stick to ports that can handle massive crowds. St. Thomas, Cozumel, and Nassau are equipped for 5,000-plus passenger ships. The smaller ships access more unique destinations. If you want to cruise the Baltic, explore Alaska's Inside Passage, or visit places like Santorini, you'll probably end up on a Radiance or Vision class ship. And honestly, that's often a better experience because you're not competing with thousands of other passengers for the same shore excursions. Booking strategy and timing. This might be the most important section for your wallet. Royal Caribbean's pricing is dynamic, meaning it changes constantly based on demand, ship capacity, and booking patterns. I've seen the same cabin on the same sailing fluctuate by $400 per person over a 2-week period. Here's my booking strategy. Book early for the best cabin selection and initial pricing, then monitor prices religiously. Royal Caribbean allows you to reprice your booking up until final payment without penalty. I use their website and a few price tracking apps to watch for drops. On one Mediterranean cruise, I repriced 3 times and saved $680 total for my family. The sweet spot for booking is typically 12 to 18 months in advance for new ships and popular itineraries, 6 to 12 months for most others. But here's the exception. Repositioning cruises and off-season sailings often drop significantly 60 to 90 days before departure. I booked a 12-night transatlantic cruise for $89 per person just 2 months before sailing. Wave season, roughly January through March, traditionally offers the best promotions. Royal Caribbean typically throws in extras like onboard credit, free specialty dining, or beverage package upgrades. But don't wait if you see a good deal in June or September. Their flash sales can happen anytime. Shore excursions versus independent exploration. Royal Caribbean's shore excursions are convenient and guaranteed to get you back to the ship on time, but they're also expensive and often rushed. A basic beach day excursion in Barbados might cost $65 per person for what you could do independently for the cost of a $10 taxi ride. That said, some Royal Caribbean excursions are genuinely worth the premium. Their partnerships with local operators in Alaska often provide access to smaller group tours and exclusive experiences you can't book independently. The Mendenhall Glacier helicopter tours through Royal Caribbean include landing privileges that independent operators don't always have. For active excursions like ziplining, ATV tours, or scuba diving, booking through the cruise line provides insurance coverage and accountability that independent operators might not match. I learned this the hard way in Costa Rica when an independent ATV tour company had mechanical issues and we almost missed the ship. My general rule: beach days and city exploration, go independent. Adventure activities and specialized tours, consider the ship's options. And always carry the ship's port agent phone number and keep track of the all-aboard time. Technology and communication. Royal Caribbean's VOOM internet is legitimately fast enough for video calls and streaming, which sets them apart from most cruise lines. But here's what they don't advertise. The bandwidth gets shared among all users, so speeds can slow significantly during peak hours when everyone's posting their vacation photos. The Royal Caribbean app is essential and actually works well once you're on board. You can chat with other passengers for free, make dining reservations, book activities, and track your onboard spending. Download it before you sail and set up your profiles in advance. One tech tip that saves money: if you're traveling with family or friends, designate one person to buy the internet package and share the login. You can't use it simultaneously on multiple devices, but you can log in and out as needed. For casual internet use, this works perfectly. Crown and Anchor Loyalty Program. Royal Caribbean's loyalty program is straightforward and actually valuable. You earn 1 point per night, 2 if you're in a suite or cruising solo. The perks start mattering at diamond level, 80 points, where you get 4 drink vouchers per day and access to exclusive diamond lounges on select ships. Here's the loyalty hack most people miss. Those double points for suite bookings apply to any suite, including junior suites. Book the cheapest suite available and you'll reach diamond status twice as fast. Pinnacle Club members, 700+ points, get some genuinely exclusive perks, including access to a special concierge line and complimentary internet. But that's a lot of cruising to reach that level. What's coming in 2025 to 2026? Star of the Seas launches in August 2025, and it's expected to be nearly identical to Icon of the Seas. Royal Caribbean is also planning 2 more unnamed Icon-class ships for 2026 and 2027, plus the 7th Oasis-class ship in 2028. The new Perfect Day at Lelepa in Vanuatu will be Royal Caribbean's first private island in the Southern Hemisphere, opening up new itinerary possibilities in the Pacific. The bottom line. Here's what I've learned after sailing Royal Caribbean extensively. They're not trying to be everything to everyone anymore. They're offering different experiences for different travelers. Want cutting-edge thrills and don't mind crowds? Icon and Oasis-class ships deliver. Looking for innovation with manageable crowds? Quantum class is your sweet spot. Want to see unique destinations with a more intimate feel? Radiance and Vision class ships are underrated gems. The key is matching the ship to your vacation style, not just booking the newest or biggest option. Some of my favorite Royal Caribbean cruises have been on their smaller, older ships that took me places the megaships simply can't go. Royal Caribbean has genuinely earned their reputation as the cruise line for active, adventurous travelers. But they've also quietly become one of the best options for destination-focused cruisers who want to see the world without sacrificing comfort. What type of Royal Caribbean experience sounds most appealing to you? Let me know in the comments, and if you found this guide helpful, consider subscribing for more honest cruise advice. Trust me, there's a lot more to uncover about what really happens behind the scenes on these floating cities.